Hey everyone, welcome to another tutorial for PSD Tuts. I'm Andre Silva and I'm going to show you how to create this very nice lens icon completely with Photoshop. So let's get started by creating a new file. In this case I'm using the size of 1280 by 720 pixels and press OK. And now what I'm going to do is create a background. And in order to do that, I'm going to create a new layer. Now press Shift F5 both on Mac and PC and fill this layer with any color you want. In this case I'm using the foreground color, in this case it's black, press OK. Alright, so now what I'm going to do to create the background is work with gradient overlay. And why gradient overlay and not the gradient tool? Because the gradient overlay gives me more flexibility to work with the colors. So it's easier to if I want to change something, it's easier than create another background. So for the angle, let's insert my negative 45. And now let's work with different colors. The first one has a code 202020, so it's a very dark gray, and the other one has a code 343434 and press OK. Alright, and now let's creating the lens itself. So let's create a new group. This group is called the lens structure. And now let's create a circle. Select here the ellipse tool, style none, and color let's select right, we can insert the code. So insert the code CCCACA and press OK. Now press Shift, create a perfect circle and draw something like this. Alright, now let's add some layer style effects. So go here to the FX, now click and select stroke. Now for the stroke size I'm going to work with 3 pixels. For the position outside, plane mode normal, pass 100%, and for the color, let's insert the code B8, press OK, and OK. Alright, so now we have this first circle, so the base for all the elements. Press Command J to duplicate this circle, now press Command T, and now Shift and Alt, and reduce the size, and create something like this. Alright, press OK. And now let's edit. First, let's edit the color of the circle by entering the code 9A. Press OK. Now double click on stroke, and now let's edit the stroke as well. Now for the stroke size 2 pixels, position outside, blend mode normal, and for the color, let's use the code DF. Press OK. Now press Command J again to duplicate the last circle. Command T to edit the size, Shift and Alt, and reduce the size just a little bit like this. Okay, press Enter, and now let's edit the stroke. The stroke size is for this one is 4 pixels, position outside, position inside. Blend mode normal, opacity 100%, and for the color, use the code 303030. Okay, let's add another effect, this time a gradient overlay. Blend mode normal, opacity 100%, and let's click on the gradient to edit the colors. The first one has a code 3A3E40, press OK, and the second one has a code 424647, press OK and OK. Now let's edit the angle, and for this one I'm going to work with negative 74 degrees and close the window. Alright, so now let's duplicate the last circle again, press Command T, Shift and Alt, and reduce the size like this. Alright, press OK. Now first let's edit the stroke. For the stroke size, let's work with 7 pixels, so a B stroke, position inside, blend mode normal, opacity 100%, and for the color, use the code 0606, enter. Now let's edit the gradient overlay as well, and for the first color, let's use the code 050505, press OK, and for the second one, let's use the code 232526, enter. And finally, let's okay, the angle is the same, so negative 74, and you can close the window. Alright, and once again, let's duplicate the stroke, so press Command J or Windows Control J. Now Command T, now Shift and Alt, and reduce the size like this. Okay, press Enter. Now let's start by editing the stroke, and for the stroke I'm going to work with a size of 5 pixels. For the position inside, alright, blend mode normal, pattern 100%, and here on a fill type I'm going to choose gradient. So now let's edit the angle first. And for the angle, let's insert -65. Alright, and now let's edit the color. So the first one I'm going to keep the black, and for the second one I'm going to use the code 868686. Press OK and OK. Now let's edit the gradient overlay. Now for the angle, insert 137 degrees. For the scale, 100%. Alright, and now let's edit the colors. The first one as a code DC DC DC. Press Enter, and the second one as a code 34 34 34. Press Enter and Enter. Alright, let's add another effect, bevel and emboss. For the style, inner bevel. For the technique, let's work with smooth. For the depth, let's work with 100%. Size 5, soften 0. Now here on the shading area, for the first angle for the light direction, let's insert -41, and for the second one 32. And make sure to use the global light. Check this option on. For the highlight opacity, I'm going to work with 44, so decrease the opacity. And for the black, so for the shadow opacity, I'm going to keep the same and press OK. Alright, let's duplicate the last circle, so press Command J, and this is the last time we duplicate a circle. So now press Command T, Shift and Alt, and now reduce the size till the edges touch one to each other like this. Press Enter. Now turn off all the effects. Alright, now change the color and use the code 212121 and press Enter. Alright guys, so now what we're going to create is these little thin circles, as you can see. So those are the outside ones, and those are the inside ones. So I'm going to separate them between different groups. Alright, so now let's create the outside circles. So as you can see, they fit over the third circle. So this is the first one. This little thin circle here is the second one, and this kind of bluish circle is the third one, and here is where the thin circles going to fit. Alright, now let's find the third circle, which is this one here, and let's duplicate it by pressing Command J. Alright, now drag this new copy to the new group icon like this. Alright, and let's rename this group to outside thin circles. Alright, so now the first thing we're going to do is turn off the gradient overlay. Alright, now double click on the stroke, reduce the size to 2 pixels, position outside, blend mode normal, opacity 100%, and here on the fill type change to gradient. Now for the angle, let's work with -51. Okay, now let's edit the colors, and the first one has a code 13 13 13. Okay, and second one has a code EV EV EV. Press OK and OK. Right, so now close the window. Now reduce the fill to 0%. Now press Command T, Shift and Alt, and reduce the size like this. Okay, press Enter. Alright, and now let's create the other one. So press Command J to duplicate the last circle. The last ring. It's kind of a ring. Alright, now double click on the stroke and reduces the size to 1 pixel and press OK. Now Command T, Shift and Alt, and reduce the size like this. Press Enter. Now again Command J, Command T, Shift and Alt, reduce the size. Command J, Command T, Shift and Alt, and this is the last circle, I think. Yeah, reduce the size like this, press Enter. Alright, let's see the final effect. As you can see, it looks very nice. But to look even better, let's select the group and reduce the opacity to 80% like this and press enter. Now we can close the group. And now to create the inside thin circles, all we need to do is select the outside thin circles group and drag it to the new layer icon like this. Now we can rename this group. So inside thin circles. Alright, now press Command T to edit the size, Shift and Alt, and reduce the size like this. Probably you can see the circles, and so we need to change the position. So put this group above of all the layers of all the groups like this. So as you can see, it's a little bit small. Press Command T again, Shift and Alt, and adjust the size like this. Alright, now let's create more circles. So drag these inside thin circles for the new layer icon. Now press Command T, Shift and Alt, and reduce the size like this in order to create more circles. Press enter. Okay, and we finished this step. Alright, and now let's create some shiny material inside of the lens. So by creating some light effects. So the first thing we're gonna do is select the brush tool, create a new layer, and for the size I'm going to work. It can change with your file size, but for this one I'm going to work with 50. Okay. Now for the hardness I'm going to work with 45%, and for the color I'm going to work with 717779. 717779. Press OK. I'm going to work with a little smaller size. Let's try 40. And now make one single click like this. Now change the colors to white and reduce the brush size a little bit, like 30. And with the same hardness, make a little bit smaller, so 25. Okay. And with the same hardness, make one single click as well with white, like this. Okay, now let's create these very nice blue, glass. So select the ellipse tool. Now style none, and for the color I'm going to work with a very nice blue which has a code 42C9F6. Press enter. Now press shift and draw a circle like this, and you can use the spacebar to move without the set shape. Alright, like this. Now change the mode to screen and lower the opacity to 20% and press enter. Okay, but I think we can create even more shiny material by adding a lens flare. So create a new layer, fill this layer with black. So select the black for the foreground color, Shift F5, and here on the contents, fill use foreground color. Press OK. You should work shortcuts. In this case, I used the Shift F5 because it's better for your workflow. So now go to Filter, Render, Lens Flare. Now select the 105mm prime, and let's work with a very low value like 15. And press enter. Alright, now change the blending mode of this layer to screen. Alright, and as you can see, the black is invisible, and move the light to be on the center of the lens like this. Now the first thing I'm going to do, or the next thing I'm going to do, is delete these flares. So select the layer with the eraser tool, delete these little flares outside of the lens like this. Now, as you can see, the light is very white. It's too much white. So let's set some kind of a bluish tone. Go to Image Adjustments and select Hue and Saturation. Now here on the bottom, make sure to select Colorize, and now draw the hue bar until you find the color you want. Right about here. Increase the saturation so you can see better. Okay, very nice. This is the blue I want. kind of a bluish tone, very nice, and keep the lightness 0. Now press OK. Alright, so the next step is create some reflections coming from the center of the lens. So select the brush tool and open the brush option like right here. And if you can't open this window, go to Window and select Brush. Right, so now select here on the top brush tip shape. Now here on the roundness, let's work with 65%. And as you can see, we have a kind of a ellipse shape for the brush. So create a new layer. As you can see, this is a shape. Select the color white, and we're going to start on the center with a very low size, like 3 pixels, a little bit bigger. Okay, 9 pixels works well. And now make a single click right here. Alright, increase a little bit the size, like 10 pixels. And make another click. Okay, now increase the size to 11 pixels and make another click. And this is the idea, 12 pixels and make another click. And finally 13 pixels and make another click. Alright guys, so now let's create some reflections right here on the glass. And actually this part is a little bit tricky, but don't worry about that because I'm going to explain step by step. So the first thing you're gonna do is create a new layer. Now press Command or in Windows Control and click over the vector mask of the glass shape, of the glass layer. Now select the elliptical mark tool right here on the top and select the option Intersect with Selection, this one here. Now for the feather 0 pixels, and now first click with the mouse and then press Shift, because otherwise if you press Shift before you start drawing the selection, what I'm going to do is it's going to change the mode. As you can see, when I press Shift it changed to a plus, which means it's going to add to the selection, not intersect with the actual selection. So now first click with the mouse and then Shift to draw a perfect circle like this. Now what I'm going to create is a kind of a ring selection, so like this. Alright, and now to create the actual ring, I'm going to change the options here on the top. So now select the option Subtract from Selection, and now the same thing, first click with the mouse and then you press the the Shift. And now what I'm going to do is remove a little part of the selection like this in order to create the ring which I told you, like this. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is create the selections to make the reflections. So here select the Polygon and Lasso tool and select the option Intersect with Selection, and let's select something like this. Okay, like this. Now change the option to Subtract from Selection and remove a little part of the selection like this. Okay, and we can reduce the size of the selection like this. Alright, so now select the gradient tool and select the gradient white to transparent. Okay, and draw a gradient like this. Press Command deselect and the first reflection is done. Alright, now let's create another reflection here on the bottom. So create a new layer and again press Command and click over the vector mask of the glass layer. Alright, now select the pen tool and draw a path like this. So click here, now here, and make a little curve like this. Okay, it's a little bit small. Here, now here. Make a curve like this. Alright, close the path. Right click, make selection, feather radius 0 pixels, and select the option Intersect with Selection and press OK. And now all you need to do is select the gradient tool and make a gradient like this. Now to finish this reflection, just select the ellipse tool, style none, color white, and make a little ellipse like this right here. Move the shape to get the perfect position like this, and reduce a little bit of the opacity, like 90%, and press OK. Alright, and we're almost done, but let's work some details to get a very nice and very tailored icon. So the next thing I'm going to do is add some highlights here on this very dark circle, to create some light reflections, to get a very realistic effect. And to do that, I'm going to open the lens structure group, and let's find the circle, which I think is this one here. Okay, now press Command, click, create a new layer. Okay, and now with this layer select the brush tool, color white, and to get more control in the colors, I'm going to work with a very low opacity level, like 10%, and start by adding some highlights here, like this, and here on the bottom as well. Press Command D. Okay, it looks very nice. Now let's add another highlight on this gray circle, so the first circle we create, by pressing Command and click over the vector mask of this circle. Okay, now select the polygonal last tool, select the option Intersect with Selection, and now create a selection like this. Okay, now create a new layer above of this circle, select the paint bucket tool, and with the color white selected, click and paint this layer. Now press Command D to select and go to Filter, Blur, Gaussian Blur, and for the Gaussian Blur in this one I'm going to work with 10 pixels, a little bit more. Okay, 20 pixels. 20 pixels works very well, and press Enter. Now as you can see, we can see some of these reflection outside of the lens. So what I'm going to do is press Alt Command and click between this layer, so the layer we create, and the layer which represents the gray circle, like this. And what we create was kind of a mask. As you can see, this little arrow means that this layer, so the layer 8, so these highlights, just affects the layer below, which is a gray circle. Very nice technique. Okay, and now we can reduce a little bit of the opacity, like to 80%. Alright, and now let's add some information on the body of the lens. So select this shape, press Command J to duplicate it, and select the layer which is now on the bottom. So this is actually the original one. So press Command T and reduce the size like this. Press Enter. Okay, now what I'm going to do is type along of this path. So with the path selected, so the vector mask selected of this layer, select the text tool and click right on the path like this. Now type BSE tuts plus. Now probably you can see the text, so put this text above all the layers like this. Change the color to black, and now make some space. Alright, and type 50 millimeters 1.1.4. Okay, and it looks very nice. And just adjust the position of the text like this. Press Enter. And as you can see, we are almost done, because the last thing is create a very nice shadow on the bottom. And to do that is very simple. Just select the elliptical marker tool, make a nice selection like this. Okay. Now create a new layer on the bottom of all the layers, just above of the background. And now select the paint bucket tool, foreground color black. Paint inside of the selection, Command D deselect. go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and we use 20 pixels or a little bit less, 15 pixels, press OK, and adjust the position, and we are done. So we create all the elements, and this is the final product. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, guys, and if you want more Photoshop tutorials, continue your searching on this amazing site psctuts.com for more great tutorials about Photoshop, and also visit my YouTube channel at youtube.com/dracw2 where I have some tutorials about photography, graphic design and stuff like that, and if you like them, please subscribe because it's a big help for me. Alright, so thanks for watching, have a great day, and I will see you soon.